Let's talk about another case study, and that's around having a budget. Um, I have a client, I've had a client recently in the consumer products industry, and it's a fairly large company with about 150 employees. About a year ago, their CFO left and they didn't replace him. And as a result, there was really nobody managing the financial functions of the business. So I was brought in as fractional CFO about 6 months ago, and what I observed was there was no budget. People were just spending money indiscriminately. They what they There was no financial controls. So each department was just ordering things, without any consideration of whether that was in a budget or not, which is again a bizarre way of running a business, and it resulted in operating losses because everybody was just spending money crazily. And so the first step I did was to create a budget. And creating a budget is a very difficult situation when people don't want to cooperate, and people don't want to cooperate when their life is good and they can spend any money they want to and hire in whoever they want and pay them whatever they want without any consideration of whether the finance department is going to approve it or not. So that is a fairly large company, but a smaller company has the same issues. Without a budget, you're not in a forecast. You don't really know what you can afford and can't afford, and you don't have any real financial discipline going on in your business. So in that company, ultimately, we did get a budget in place, and it was painful because people didn't want to adhere to a budget because they got used to doing whatever they wanted to do. And and today we're still going through the struggle of every month looking at what the budget was versus what the actual expenses spending was, and having conversations around the fact that they're spending more than the budget would allow them to spend. And so that's just a crazy scenario that you're having to have those kind of conversations, but that's how off track it can get. But even if you're a smaller company, having a budget is very important, because entrepreneurs tend to do things by the seat of their pants, whether they're running a tech company or a trucking company or a contracting company. I've seen many examples where people come to me and say, Jim, I want to hire somebody new to do this or that, and without a budget, is that a good idea or not? I don't know. You need to have a conversation about how that's going to play out. If you're going to bring somebody on board, how much more revenue is that person going to be able to help you generate, and are they going to be able to pay for themselves? If you launch a new product or service that you never launched before, how does that play out? What is your expectation of profitability and cash flow from that product, and how much money you're going to have to invest in marketing the product? Um, Again, without any kind of financial control, the entrepreneur will go out and do whatever. I've seen examples of where a relatively small business actually went out and sponsored a car at NASCAR, which cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the actual benefit of that was never really clear, because their sales did go up a little bit, but who knows whether that had anything to do with them being a NASCAR sponsor. So that wasn't in the budget. There was no budget, and the entrepreneur just thought it was a good idea. So again, without having a good financial person helping you, you're going to do those things and make those kinds of mistakes without having any kind of constraint on your um, wild, crazy behavior as an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I know how that is because I tend to spend money on things that because it sounds good to me at the moment, but does it fit into a budget? Then that has to be considered.